Hari Om Tat Sat. Welcome to Swami Jyotirmayananda Society, our journey to self realization. Please subscribe for the mystical meanings and to enjoy daily Satsang. We are currently exploring the book Advice to Householders, authored by Swami Jyotirmayananda Maharaj, narrated by myself, Swami Nikhilananda. In today's Satsang, we will cover integral education and freedom. Teaching is given in three ways: verbal, by example, and by influence. Talk to your children, but don't talk too much. Generally, parents overestimate the value of verbal teachings. One often hears, "Oh, I talked with my child for 3 hours. Everything is settled." Usually, nothing is settled. The next day, things will be the same. Talking is good, but within measure. Rather, teach by your own example. Start doing yourself that which you want the children to do. The child receives impressions in a subtle way. You cannot hide anything from the child. So, if the parents are sincere and practicing ethical values themselves, the child will imbibe it. If they are unethical, if they are in disharmony with each other, the child will imbibe that too. If you yourself are not perfect and you go on telling your children to behave perfectly, then there will be problems. You yourself, therefore, should be an example of what you teach. Practice what you preach. If you ask your children to get up early in the morning, you must start doing so yourself. If you want them to keep things in order, set things in order yourself in your own room. You can show them how you pick up everything, how you arrange things to save yourself a lot of time, how you press clothes, how you wash the dishes, how you put them away. After they have learned how to do their chores, they will feel proud of doing those things well. Finally, by your own prayer and meditation, you project vibrations of goodwill. May God grant our children keen intellect, better understanding, good health. This is a subtle but powerful way in which you influence your children. Do your best, but be detached. In the worst situation, God is the best resolver. Turn to God and realize that all this is a divine plan. People and their destinies are not under your control. Sometimes, even the best of parents, due to some karmic process, draw the worst of children. But do your best according to your possibilities. You may be the father in your family, but never feel that you are the father. The real father is the father of all fathers. Never think that you are handling the destinies of your children. God is working through you in helping the children. If that attitude is developed, then you do your best and remain relaxed. If you have not developed this attitude, then you suffer from guilt complexes about how you have raised and educated your children, constantly lamenting, "If only I had been different." In that way, you do not help yourself nor the child. Academic versus spiritual education. So, education is of two types. One is academic education, education that will prepare your children to hold jobs, to earn money, to function in society, and the other is spiritual education. Spiritual education will prepare children to handle their sentiments and to handle their stress. Without this type of education, all other education becomes shallow. Look at the people who are educated today. The majority of them do not know how to handle their ego when they are put into frustrating situations. There are millionaires, highly educated, whose living rooms and offices are filled with big titles that they have acquired through years of education. Yet the only solution they can find to their problems is to take a pistol and bang, kill themselves and others around when they encounter difficult situations. Many examples of that. The Hindu religion has produced massive works that are profound psychological and spiritual texts, yet they seem like stories or fairy tales. Parents and children can read from the Mahabharata and Ramayana or the Bhagavad Puran day by day. While these scriptures are easy to read and are highly entertaining, at the same time they give lessons for handling temper, for outwitting the ego, for controlling the gunas, the modes of nature that operate in your personality. So, provide satsanga for your children. There are two types of satsanga. One type enables the children to do puja or worship, japa, repetition of their mantra, prayer, yoga exercises, and meditation, and the other teaches them the scriptures such as the Gita, Ramayana, Mahabharata, etc. Ideally, you should have a prayer room in your home or a small shrine where you can come together for these forms of satsanga. You and your children should come together for swadhyaya, study of scriptures, according to a schedule that fits the needs and interests of family members. The family could do this daily, twice a week, once a week, etc. As you study the scripture, one person may read and the others listen. A little discussion about what is read is healthy. You may hold this session for half an hour or more according to everybody's time availability. So, relaxing together in a healthy way. Learning the art of relaxation is of great importance for everyone. Family members should enjoy some wholesome form of exercise together, join together as a family, and also evolve spiritually in a joyous way. They can ride bicycles, go for a mile walk, go swimming in a lake, something that brings the family in contact with nature. In addition, you should do some hatha yoga exercises. Gathering together for meals is an important time for family relaxation and communication. You should develop insight into sattvic diet, vegetarian meals that are nourishing to you and to your children. Families can enjoy educational films together. Although most film entertainment is rajasic in nature and leaves the mind burdened with some um, rajas or worldly inertia, some people, um, some special films bring good impressions if they are spiritual in nature and if they are teaching you good values. So, expose the minds of your children to such films such as the Ramayana, the Ten Commandments, or other educational films that have been well done and convey a good message. By doing so, you keep your children away from the influence of Rajasic and Tamasic films, films that are laden with passion and violence. Try to ignore those as they will simply drag you more and more into passion and worldly stressful situations. Handle Kindle spiritual aspiration in the heart of your child. That is the best thing you can do as a parent. In the Vedic culture, before one is initiated into the student stage or brahmacharya ashrama, he is given mundana samskara, meaning shaving of the hair. Shaving is the reminder of the ultimate goal of sannyasa or renunciation, through which one day you shave off the entire world. No more hair growing with its attachments, so you continue to negate that neti neti. Therefore this sacrament is like a mini sannyasa, a small step towards the highest goal. It teaches the young student that his life must lead to the attainment of liberation. That is the ultimate goal. Such traditions convey a powerful message to children. By performing this majestic sacrament, instead of telling your child, you are here to serve this family, to bring pride to this family, you belong to us. Instead of doing all that, you tell him, oh child, you belong to God. Your primary duty is to love God and to serve Him. At the same time, you are fully aware that your child turns his steps to God. He will become a source of boundless blessings for the family and society. Do not wait until your children have grown up to introduce them to the higher purpose of life. Rather, whether they understand it or not, perform samskaras, bring them into satsanga or good association, and kindle the lamp of spiritual aspiration even from their very childhood. Educate the ego to be sattvic, pure. Through the ego, you are led to evolve. Through the ego, you guide others. When you guide your children, you do so through their ego. When you tell your children how wonderfully they have done, and the children begin to expect your appreciation, led by the ego, they start working harder. Although nature has planned that things are done through the ego, ultimately, when your ego becomes extremely sattvic or pure, you experience profound humility. You are ever aware of the fact that you are merely an instrument in divine hands. Thus, you go beyond the ego. If, led by your ego, you continue performing good deeds, ego is gradually reduced. But when you do negative deeds, ego becomes intensified. Ego becomes reduced when there is sattva or purity in the mind. If you do rajasic things, actions based on anger, hate, falsehood, etc., then ego becomes intensified. Your evolution and the evolution of your children depend upon the way ego is handled. So, with this, we conclude our satsang for today, and we will continue this journey in tomorrow's satsang. Hari Om Tat Sat.